Both the Engineer and Golden Mini were, by at least one time, the top of their class. The Golden Mini being meta for like the hardcore update and, a little in 2022, but it's irrelevant. And also the Engineer has fell off recently after being the #1 tower for like a month or two, so that must be a world record. But today we're going to talk about these towers and why they suck. On March 31st, 2023, the Engineer lost one of its sentry, completely ruining the early game potential for the Engineer, and also limiting its late game potential. But at the time, Accelerator was, at best, so the Engineer still held top 1 for a while. But this is where it kind of got funny. Engineer, yes, was technically top 1, but Pursuit was not that far behind. And with balance updates frequently coming out now, the Accelerator was bound to get one. And you know what happened? Yeah, they got rebalanced. So the Accelerator basically was better than the Engineer. Once again, history repeating itself. And there's also just better options. For a tower this expensive, I'm really disappointed because it's getting outclassed by a level 75 tower and level 100 tower, which are the Pursuits and Motor. Motor really has no excuse for being better than the Engineer. And there's some cases where the Engineer does better, but Motor is really great for crowd control. And if you want to use Engineer for crowd control, might as well use Motor. It has the highest splash damage in the game. And yeah, Engineer is just a tower that's outclassed. If you're looking for DPS, flight detection, and lead detection, use the Pursuit. If you're looking for lead and flight, use the Motor. If you're looking for hidden detection, use the Accelerator. If you're looking for DPS, use the Accelerator again. The Engineer is really outclassed, and if you're saying, oh, Motor and Pursuit doesn't have hidden detection, well, the hidden detection the Engineer is kind of garbage, so it doesn't really matter. But it's sad to see that a 4,500 gem tower is getting outclassed by almost half its price tower, the Accelerator. So it'd be cool if they just re-added the sentry that the Engineer lost. I don't think that's unfair, personally. Just either buff the damage on the current sentries, the top 3, or just give Engineer its sentry back, because it really didn't need to be done this dirty. Just make the base game mode harder. That's my opinion, because TDS currently, as it stands, it's too easy. Let's move on to the Golden Minigunner, though. The Golden Mini is a sad case. There was no buff, there was no nerf, but it kind of just became irrelevant. So the Golden Mini only has a max DPS of 103, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. But with new towers like Turret and Ranger getting buffed and the Accelerator and Engineer existing, there's no point of Golden Mini anymore. And it's kind of sad because I got Golden Mini in like 2020, and everyone wanted me to carry them. Golden Mini used to be so good, and now it's kind of I mean, I would rather use Ranger over Golden Mini. But there's one W the Golden Mini takes. It's placement limit. It has no placement limit like the Accelerator, Engineer, Ranger, or Turret, and it's pretty cheap compared to these towers. Like, it's only like, what, 23 grand to max out. But it is really sad to see its DPS for 23 grand. It is way better than a lot of other towers, don't get me wrong. Way better than the Shotgunner, to say, for example. But with like the new towers getting rebalanced, like Turret and Ranger, again, it just is mid, I guess. And Warden, fun fact, is actually beating the Golden Mini in DPS, which is sad to see. Ace Pilot's beating the Golden Mini, and yeah, and it's not really that great, even with no placement limit. And solo, it is godlike, don't get me wrong. It's probably the highest DPS you can reach in the game. If you play 40 Golden Minis, that is over 4,000 DPS. That is just absolutely insane. But in duo, it's alright. In trio, it's garbage. In quad, it's garbage. And holy crap, mega servers would have been so garbage. And Golden Mini is just really situational based. That's why I don't find myself using it a lot. It's just, I would rather use Ranger, and I would use the Accelerator, a way better tower for the hiddens, even if it's unreliable, but still, it's reliable in most cases, because its DPS is just absurd. And there's just, better golden towers out there, like the Scout, Golden Soldier, and also Golden Crook Boss. But Mini really needs a soft buff, like give it 50 more DPS with a cost increase, because in the current day of TDS, 103 is just average. Warden is beating it, Moldar is beating it, Turret's beating it, Ranger's beating it, Electroshocker technically is beating it, but it has to chain properly. Even the Rocketeer, if we're counting a splash, beats it. Golden Mini is just really outclassed nowadays. So yeah, I really feel bad for the Golden Mini. Thanks for watching. That's it. But my opinion to buff the Golden Mini, just give it like more DPS, like 50, and maybe buff the cost a little. But yeah, that's my opinion on the Golden Mini and Engineer. Thanks for watching.